Hi there. I'm now in my tent. I don't really have much to show you except maybe that bit of the tent up there. But it took me about 20 minutes to set this thing up, and I just wanted to talk a bit about wild camping and how great it is. Because if I'd stayed in a hotel in 2 nights in Liverpool, would have cost almost £200 to stay in a cheap hotel, which to me is far from cheap. And I have got friends I could have stayed with, but I don't want to oblige them to put me up. So I don't like to just ask people to stay with them if it's not like really, spontaneous. And so it just felt really, really good doing some wild camping. And I was going to go to some campsites around Liverpool, but they're all either closed or they don't want tents. They only seem to want camper vans or big caravans, and they just don't. There seems to be this thing against people with tents, especially if you haven't got a car. If you're just a guy with a rucksack, it's almost like you're suspicious. You're a nomad. Maybe you're a gypsy. Maybe you're a suspicious character. I do not know what's the problem, but it is a problem, and there's nowhere to stay. And it's a general problem because accommodation in this country has gone through the roof. It's over £1,000 a month now to get a decent flat, and probably about £600-700 to get the most basic room for long-term rent. And even getting that is really difficult. So there are a lot of homeless people, and if they knew about camping, they could stay in luxury. Because I feel like I'm staying in luxury because I'm in a winter sleeping bag. I'm in a really good winter. Well, it's not a really winter tent. A really good tent with room for my gear. I've got a nice mat under me. I'm going to lie down in a minute and read my book. It's going to be a really good night's sleep I'm going to get. It's fantastic. I just feel so lucky to be able to do this. I have been investing in this gear for years, and I always carry it around with me in case I need it. You never know when you need to spend a night somewhere. Often I use the mat and sleeping bag in people's houses. If I stay with so-and-so, and I just sleep on the floor. But it's just so good. And it's also exciting because I went out onto the dark beach and I was worried about being picked up. Well, I wasn't worried, but I was aware that maybe I was going to get spotted and reported to the police and chased away or arrested or something. But I knew that wouldn't really happen. But I was just aware of what was going on. And then I walked along the beach, which was full of rocks and wet sand, and the sea maybe coming in, but it was still really huge and empty. It was like being in a desert, actually. And I'm just by a massive city, Liverpool. And I used to go to uni here. I had no idea they had such amazing beaches, like so long and wild and wonderful. Anyway, I went inland a bit and found lots and lots of sand dunes. And within the sand dunes, I found this kind of dip where completely sheltered from the wind. Obviously not from the rain, but the wind is a big thing on the beach. It's quite windy down there. So here I am in my little camp, completely in the dark, apart from this little light, which will be out soon. I'm going to read my book soon. It's called Tatiana by Martin Cruz Smith. I think it's a spy thriller. I don't know yet. And then I'm going to go to sleep and get up 5 or 6, pack up my tent, or break camp, as they say in the camping circles, and then pack it all up and go back into town, and nobody will ever know I was here. It's just perfect. And yeah, if you want to get into wild camping, get in touch with me if you need any advice or support. I mean, the gear is kind of expensive and it's not worth it if you don't use it, but if you do use it even a few times a year, it probably pays for itself in terms of saving on paying for accommodation. I think it's great, and it also gives you a kind of safety net. Like, you don't have to worry about not having to stay somewhere, not being able to afford to stay somewhere. And then finally, it's quite cold. It's winter, so what do you do? Like, well, how do you stay? How do you not freeze? Well, the main thing is you walk a lot to get where you're going, and when you get there, you set the tent up and set the mat down, pack it all in, get everything inside, out of the rain. It stopped raining now, so I'm okay. But and all that activity is keeping you warm, but you've got to get your feet inside the bag as soon as possible, or your feet will start to freeze. So the first thing is get your trousers off, winter socks on, in the bag. That's what I've done. My feet and legs are in the bag here, and I'm not going to get the top of me in until later. But the key thing is to get the extremities warm, and then like sometimes I'd be cooking a meal or something, but I ate kind of junk food in town, so I'm not going to do that. But so I arrive with the heat of the walk, and then get my feet in as soon as possible, and then to sleep very soon. Anyway, night to night. If you want to talk about this or want any advice or support or anything, just send me a message below. Bye bye.